Welcome, you seniors out there who have recently recovered from some major surgery or major illness that has left you feeling less confident in your mobility and your balance. And I'm going to show you today some great exercises that you can do in the comfort and safety of your own home that will help you to improve those things. But first, I'm going to tell you about a rather large word, and then we're going to break down the exercises, some simple exercises to help you improve that large word. And that large word is proprioception. Basically, proprioception is the use of your entire central nervous system and the communications that go on through your body that help you to move safely and effectively or efficiently. And since you've lost that during your recovery from surgery or illness, you need to get that back, and you almost need to learn to walk again. I've found that many of the clients that I've helped with this had completely forgotten how to walk, and now they're having to think about it rather than just do it. So basically, you've lost your muscle memory or proprioceptive ability to move. And so today we're going to focus on that with some really simple exercises that will help, first of all, strengthen you and also help you to practice your balance, hopefully on a daily basis, so that you can get back to moving confidently. Okay. Let's talk about the basics of walking. Walking is basically stopping yourself from falling over and over again. As you shift your weight forward, if you don't move a foot forward, you're going to fall on your face, right? So you're stopping yourself from falling over and over and over again, right? So kind of a simple thing, but if you remember, if you watch your grandchildren or even your great-grandchildren when they're first trying to walk and you see them, they keep falling, right? They can't quite get that foot out in front of them and they fall, right? And they do it over and over again until they learn how to do it. Well, all it is bringing a foot forward from the back forward so that you don't fall, right? Now, the safest and the appropriate way to do it is called heel to toe. Heel to toe. So you strike on your heel and then you roll forward. Now your back leg is actually plantar flexing or pushing off to get that momentum going forward. And then as that foot comes through, you are dorsiflexing, lifting your toe up so you don't hit your toe on anything, and getting it in a position to strike heel, then toe. One of the key tools for maintaining your balance is your eyesight. Your eyesight provides tons of information, data to your brain in order to help you understand that you are balanced, your orientation with the horizon, any undulations on the ground that you have to navigate. And so a lot of people that I've seen, elderly people that have come from illnesses and they're trying to learn to walk again and they don't have that confidence, they're doing this when they walk. They're looking down at their feet. The only thing they're seeing is the floor and their feet. They have no idea their surroundings, the horizon line, or anything. And they're looking at an area that's about 4 feet by 4 feet. That is going to work against you being confident and keeping your balance. This is why. Because if your head's up here, now I see a much broader area, including the horizon line, and I'll know when I'm off center or I'm leaning forward or backwards. I'll be able to tell. And when you do this, you remove all that information from the process of walking. And then your brain can't tell your body what to do to correct any imbalances as you're moving. I hope that makes sense. So what we want to do, you can look down somewhat so that you can see the floor in front of you. Sometimes you can look down and then back up, and you know, okay, a flat surface, no dangers of falling. Now you need to come up so that you can tell your body, oh yes, I'm walking and I'm shifting weight and I'm staying balanced. My head's staying straight. My eyesight is staying straight with the horizon. So we really want to get to a point, if you're like this, to where you're more upright and you're seeing more of your surroundings. I hope that makes perfect sense for you. Okay, first off, I want you to know that we have to start with safety first. Now, a good way to stay safe during these exercises is to do it with some sort of stable furniture or something that's going to help you. If, let's say, you do lose your balance, you're able to grab hold of something. This will help you to do these exercises more confidently. So if you need that, please do that, because safety is job one. So I'm going to use a simple, fairly sturdy chair. This chair is pretty good. I suggest that you use maybe a heavy wooden chair, might be better for you. But a couple of things that we need to do is we need to focus on some of the core muscles that you need to strengthen in order to have strong movement, to be able to get around. And oftentimes, one of the first things you have to do is get up out of a chair to be able to move. And if we've lost the strength in our glutes, then we need to build that up. Well, a great exercise, and a very simple one that you can do right from a chair at your home, is called squats. And so what I want you to do is make sure that you're in your squats, that you're not letting your knees come forward over your toes. So try to keep them back on your feet as much as possible. In order to do that, you're going to have to bend down and put your butt outward, okay? And then when you come back up, squeeze your glutes. So what we're going to do with the chair is we're going to squat down, just barely touch the chair. Don't rest fully into the chair, but just touch the chair and then push yourself back up. And as you come up, squeeze your glutes, and that'll help to contract them and to work them out, okay? So what I want you to do is just do a set of 10 of these, all right? There's 4, there's 5, there's 6, 10. All right, perfect, good job. So that's one exercise, and you can do multiple sets of those. So yeah, you know, you can start with 10, maybe eventually you'll get to be able to do 20, but the idea is that you're strengthening those glute muscles. They're a key and one of the largest muscles in your body. So, and obviously they're used for all types of movement. You want to be able to utilize those muscles. The other are your abdominal muscles, okay? You often hear about these as being your core muscles. So what we're going to do is we can do it two ways. If you need to sit, I want you to sit firmly in the chair and anchor your shoulders and your arms. I want your shoulders to be in a neutral or a naturally rested position. And then what you're going to do is you're going to raise a knee one at a time while triggering your abdominal muscles, okay? And we want to do that till you start feeling those really kind of tighten up. So this is another exercise that's going to help you with some key muscles that you need to utilize when you're moving. All right. You get the picture, and if you hold it, it'll cause those muscles to tire more quickly. Okay, great. The next thing, we're going to go ahead and shift to the balance, some balance exercises that you can you can do. Some of you may even require something in front of you for safety. That's fine. Make sure you have a chair behind you in case you lose your balance back. You'll have something to sit back down into. One of the key things that I find is that after surgeries or illness, a lot of seniors come out and they're looking down when they're walking. You should be walking heel to toe, shifting weight from one leg to the other. One leg to the other, okay? Let's do that again. I'll walk toward the camera. One leg to the other. And see how my toe comes up and my heel strikes first and then I roll. This helps to make sure that when you're stepping over some sort of elevated surface or an object, that you don't stub your toe on it. You can walk right over it. Let me give you an example of this. I can lay this down, and if I'm walking, as long as my toe's up, I can get right over that object. In order to do that, you need to be able to raise your toe, lift your toe up. So what I want you to do is 2 exercises. I want you to take your foot and raise it many times, all right? This is going to work the muscle along the side of the shin, which helps you to what we call dorsiflex that toe, all right? You have to have this strength so that when you're walking, you can easily lift that toe and just naturally do it. The other side of that is that in order for that toe to come up, not only does this have to be strong, but your calf muscles have to be flexible enough to allow that, because that extends those muscles. And if those muscles are too tight or too strong or overpowering, then that's not going to allow your toe to come up. So we work the positive here, and then in order to stretch, make sure your calves are going to allow that, you can do calf stretches. And I'll use the chair to demonstrate that. So you can lean against a chair, put one leg forward and then the back leg back, way back, so that your heel is up off the ground. And then I want you to push that heel down to the ground, and that will stretch your calf muscles. Do that for at least 30 seconds, switch legs, stretch it again. So those are 2 things that are really important to be able to allow you to do heel to toe and the typical dorsiflexion, plantar flexion motion that we're going to be doing when we walk. The next side of that is balance. Now that we're into balance, I'm going to show you an exercise with and without these stability pads. These actually add instability to these exercises in order to get you to progress to be more and more confident when you're on terra firma, when you're on flat ground that's firm, okay? I think you can understand that. So let's just do the balance exercises without the stability pads. And I want your feet to be separated a shoulder width or maybe just a little bit wider. I want you to focus on keeping the weight on your feet in the inside and at the balls of the feet, okay? So what I want you to do, I want you to make sure that that weight doesn't fall to the outside of your foot, which can cause you to fall to your right or your left, to fall laterally. And then I want it on the balls of your feet, which keeps you from going backwards. See, if my toes are raising, I'm going to likely fall backwards unless I make a motion to shift my weight to counter that. And that's what we're trying to get to, is a point where you make corrections, little tiny or big corrections, to ensure that you stay balanced upright so that you can be mobile, move forward, walk to where you want to walk safely. Okay, so what we're going to do to start is we're going to do just some simple side to side. So I just want you to shift weight over one foot. Again, as you shift over this leg, I want you to make sure you keep that weight on the more toward the inside of your foot. Don't let it fall to the outside. Even though as you shift, you're going to feel that momentum going outside. Don't let it get there. Keep that weight on the inside of your foot. So we're going to do this. So you can be at home, just stand up from the chair and start doing these exercises. Okay? If you start to go backwards, shift weight forward. Sometimes you can just throw your arms out front, and that'll bring some weight forward so that you don't fall backwards. So we're going to do that. That's one part of the exercise. I'm not gonna progress these until the end of this. So I'll show you how to do it in a more in an advanced way. So that is our first movement. After we've done that, I want you to purposefully shift your weight forward without falling forward. If you have to stop yourself, bring a foot out to stop you, okay? So I want you to get used to leaning forward and staying balanced. So it'll look like this from the side. I want you to start implementing going back on your heels and not falling backwards. And you got to practice this a lot. You want to get where you can do this confidently. And once you get to that level where you're able to do that confidently, you're much less likely to fall backwards or forward, because you're used to this feel, and your body is used to correcting it automatically without you thinking about it. That's that proprioception I was talking about. You can call it muscle memory, but it's the communication through your whole body that's happening with your brain. Now, so these two exercises are really good for initial balance. Okay, so shifting weight, and the reason we're doing it is because we're trying to get to where when you walk, you can shift your weight, and do it safely, right? Shifting to my right, shifting to my left, shifting to my right, shifting to my left. Okay, walking. It's called walking, right? So this is a key element of it. Side to side, you need to be able to do that. And back to front. Back to front. The next part of the balance exercise is going to be, now that we've done the side to side, we've gotten used to that, and we've worked on the shifting our weight backwards and forwards while maintaining our balance. Those are great exercises. Now we're going to step it up a little bit more. And what I want you to do is I want you to do side to side. Get used to that. Get where you're comfortable, where you're able to keep your weight on the balls of your feet and the insides of your feet. And once you get to where you can really shift over there, I want you to actually lift that foot as you make it weightless, okay? So you're not putting any weight on it at all, so that you can lift your knee and lift that foot off the floor. So I want you to get that, feel nice and stable, and then lift that foot. So it looks like this once you get it going, all right? And I want it to be very controlled. I want you to manage it. You got to manage it. You can't fall on the outside of your foot, because once you do this, you're going to shift your weight out and you'll probably have a fall. We don't want that. We want you to be really safe. But just get it nice and strong on the weighted leg so that you can lift the other leg off the ground. So then what we can do now is we can march, right? So let's march. And do you see how I'm going side to side? That's because I'm shifting my weight from one leg to the other so that my other leg can lift. It's free of any burden of weight. So this will allow you to do some cardio work, which will help with your overall energy and your cardiorespiratory performance. So you'll get winded less easily, right? That's a good thing, because hey, if you're trying to move around, sometimes it gets really tiring and you're out of breath, and then your muscles aren't getting enough oxygen, and so then you start to fail and you have to rest. Well, we want you to have enough energy that you can practice this and keep working to be mobile, right? That's what this is all about. It's keep you independent, keep you from getting that frustration of feeling like you can't go do the things that you want to do. Okay, so we've gone from practicing the balance by shifting the weight forward and backwards, and then we've advanced it, we've progressed it to where you can actually lift that leg up. So once you've got this down and you feel comfortable doing it after days of practicing this, okay, and I mean 30 minutes, a couple times a day, if you can, will help you progress faster. The more time you put into it, the more you're teaching or building your proprioceptive abilities in your body, okay? That means the less you'll have to think about it, the more will just be automatic. You'll just say, I want to move, and you'll know what to do, and you're used to the movement. We have to relearn, some of you have to relearn how to do all this stuff. You've done it since you were, 1 year old, but you've forgotten how, right? So we're having to relearn it. And that's what I'm here for. And I'm excited for you, because if you do this, you will regain your confidence in your mobility, and you'll be able to move around and do things that you weren't doing 3 months before. We're going to step it up, all right? So instead of just lifting this knee now, the next exercise, we're actually going to lift it, tap in front and back to base, okay? So when you tap it, I don't want you putting the weight on it, shifting the weight on it. I want you to keep it off and tap forward and then back. Tap forward, then back. Okay, let's do it with the other leg. Shift the weight, have it secure, tap forward and back. Tap forward and back. And even if you're just doing it that much forward, great. Start where you feel comfortable. Okay, you see how I'm not putting the weight on that foot? I'm just tapping it. So the weight is staying on one leg as I do it. This is key, because sometimes you're having to navigate something that's in front of you that you can't just walk over, right? You have to carefully step. Can you say stairs? Stairs is a perfect example, right? You grab the rail, you step down, make sure that you're square on that step, and then step forward. So this is just an exercise to help you do that more easily or automatically. Okay? Next time, the next step up is I want you to tap forward and then to the side and then back to base. Okay? So we go forward, side, and then back to base. Forward, side, back to base. Forward, side, back to base. Okay? Again, you're shifting your weight, and I'm doing that because you have to shift your weight to be able to get that leg up off the ground and then tap without putting weight on it, right? Okay? And then finally, the next thing you can do is you can actually just do some exercises. This will help to engage all the stabilization muscles that are in your legs and your core area, your glutes, everything, to be able to keep that leg up on one, to be lifted and static, you know, just sitting there, right? So you should be able to do that. And if you can get to where you can do that for 20, 30 seconds, wow, you've come a long way, right? Because right now you probably can't do that. I'm just showing you a progression for this. And you'll also notice that sometimes, even if you can do this, it can be harder on different legs, okay? Harder to do. So now we've done that. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you the next level of these exercises. And we're going to, it's very simple. It's just by starting to add some instability. Now you can do that with like a yoga pad that's thick. The thicker, the better, the harder it's going to be. But this is a little bit unstable compared to the hard floor, right? So now you can do your balance exercises, and you'll have a little, you've added just a little bit of instability to the whole process, okay? The side to side, the back and forth, the shifting and lifting, right? Shift and lift, shift and lift, shift and lift, right? So it's adding a little bit more give, and it's just teaching, again, more proprioception. So your brain's having to tell your body, okay, this is a little more unstable. You're going to have to activate your core, and you're going to have to move a little back and left, and you know, all that stuff. So it's your body and your brain are working together to figure this whole thing out. So then the next level is a bit of a big jump, and you don't have to do this now, but it's something that I want you to look forward to down the road. And that is using stability pads. Okay, so basically what you do is you step on those, and if you need a chair in front of you or a walker or even a kitchen counter you can use, you can get up on the stability pads. Now you're going to be unstable when you first try this, because these add a lot of instability, which is just going to get you to practice keeping your balance more intensely. So I want you to eventually get to these. They're inexpensive. You can order them online, and they're great. Or you can find them at a local sporting goods store or fitness products store. So again, we want to do the same exercises, but in an unstable environment, a less stable environment. So here we are, shifting side to side, shifting that weight. Okay, let's do the forward and backward. Now this gets a little difficult because your heels really sink in. It's going to want you to go fall backwards more. Make sure you have your chair or whatever kind of safety furniture that you want to put behind you, just in case you do fall backwards and lose your balance. Again, what you can do if you start to go backwards, shift your weight forward. You can bend at the waist and lean forward, bring your chest and head forward if you have to do something more drastic. But if you just want to do a little bit, you can just bring your arms forward, and that'll help to shift your weight forward, right? So we want to get used to this, to staying balanced while we're doing this, shifting our weight onto our heels, onto our toes, heels, toes, heels, toes. Sounds good? Right. So now we're going to step that up. Now we're going to step it up, and what we're going to do is we're going to shift all the way over, get our balance, and then lift and bring that back down to the pad. Make sure when you come back down to that pad that you're putting the foot in the same place. So if you need to look down to see where you're placing it, do that. Okay, this foot, right? shift, lift, back to base, shift, lift, back to base, shift, lift, back to base. Okay, and just keep practicing this. For those of you who aren't ready to go to this, again, we showed you how to do it on terra firma, on flat ground, hard ground, firm ground. Okay, so that is it for those exercises. All right. So at this point, we've taught you the basics of shifting your weight and staying balanced, keeping your weight on the insides of your feet or toward the inside of your feet and towards the balls of your feet. We've taught you about heel to toe. We've taught you about the maximizing the information that's coming in through your vision to your surroundings so that you know the horizon line and you can tell visually when you're in balance and out of balance. Okay? All these things will work toward your confidence and eventually toward your mobility. It might take some patience. This could take half a year. It could take 2 months. It just depends on where you are. But if you keep practicing these things, you're really going to see an improvement in your proprioception. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at To Stay Fit TV. Make sure you do that so that you are aware when new free content comes out onto the site. Okay, now that I've walked you through all those exercises, let's go ahead and put those balance exercises together in a little bit of maybe a practice session that you can run. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves in a position where our feet are about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit farther, and we're going to start the balancing. All right, and I'm just going to stop talking and just go through the exercise with you. All right, so you just follow along the best you can. You can do it at a different pace, a slower pace, or faster if you're feeling confident. Safety first. Good job. Just keep working at it. Don't get frustrated. Just keep working at it. If you go too far and it becomes too challenging, just back out. Do the more basic moves. It's on your pace, not mine, not anybody else's. go faster and still maintain, do it. Push yourself. Make it a goal. Good. I want you to go ahead. If you need somebody to be with you, I need you to work on your walking. All right? We've been practicing the balance. Now I want you to put it into action with walking. If you need somebody with you just to make sure, that's fine. But what I want you to do is I want you to work on shifting your weight, heel to toe, and walking forward, okay? Heel to toe, you feel your weight shift from leg to leg, but you're staying nice and stable, and you're keeping that weight on the inside portion, the middle inside portion of your foot as you're walking. So again, let's just keep working on your balance. You have to be standing in order to be working on your balance. So I want you to get up out of that chair as much as you can and work on this. That will help to remove any muscle atrophy that you have. You'll start feeling your core engaging automatically, and you'll be able to be more mobile.